his possessions. Okay.
20th Literary Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz.
Okay. Chelik mimenu yehe munach etzlo. His portion should be resting upon him. Lavos halvos chen v'chesed, and he should lend out money as a chesed, as a mercy to other people. Zeh keren kayam la sospo, and he should be able to continue to do this. Bo mitzvah zu, this mitzvah kol yimei chayav, all the days of his life. The af ki acher moso lo yeh chafshi min mitzvahs, and at the end of his, or after he has died, he should not be free of mitzvahs. With hate tzedachos, and it's his righteous should stand. Omedes la'ad should stand forever. Behelech lefanov la'achrov tzidkaso, and his righteousness should go before him. Should go before him, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, fine. Right, that's an expression that his mitzvahs go before him. I guess in Olam Haba, they announced that that's his protection and his honor that he has, that he's clothed in the mitzvahs that he's done, and they walk before him, so to speak. Whatever that's what he's referring to over there. It's a good thing. So that's really what he said. He said that's what he's talking about over here. That that the person that is blessed with he's blessed with more than what he needs. So he has to use it for mitzvahs in a way that he doesn't himself he doesn't overdo it. He said, so he doesn't himself be starach hu labrius, that he doesn't also need to be one of those people that have to take from other people. But if he does it in a proper way, so he can continue to do so, and he can do it his whole life, and he can even do it also posthumously as well with a portion of his wealth. Mm-hmm. And that's the way to do it. To do it with balance. Okay. Very good. Okay, a round of applause for page 246. We got it.
Excellent.
And now we go on to the top of 247. And we asked Roy to continue reading for us, please.
If he is not able to do this in his lifetime, he should at least remember in the autumn of his life not to abandon all his wealth to others, to leave himself unclothed in a spiritual sense. He should not rely upon his sons after his death to forward to him the fruits of their righteousness. Rather, he must compose a legal will instructing his heirs to do that which will be most beneficial. At least 1/10 of his inheritance or a certain percentage of his estate should be for himself, to establish a trust fund under the guidance of a dedicated trustee, which more likely will earn him a reward rather than a loss, for the purpose of giving charity and making loans. It is best if a person leaves real estate for this purpose. The land is permanent. How pleasant it will be, and how much contentment he will have each time his righteousness follows him in the next world, and he eats the fruits of his labor. Then he should give thanks for his portion and regret that he did not do more. In this matter, one also needs to conduct himself with deliberation and a balanced scale. If his sons are Torah scholars and poor, then they must be given preference. He should have compassion upon them, as a father has compassion on his children, to financially support them, enable them to maintain their vigilance in the study of Torah and the service of God.
Okay, so everything that he was saying before, he has to make sure that he gives in other words, he was saying everybody should benefit from his wealth after he passes away, and himself no less than other people. So that's what he means to say. He should have a certain percentage of his estate for himself. That's the part which is for himself, that he takes that money and he instructs that it instructs he appoints a person trustworthy and reliable and person to take care of his charitable activities. And so that 1/10 we say is for himself. The one who's distributing this wealth after he's passed away. And then he says, though, that if in fact his sons he's fortunate enough to have sons who are Talmidei Chachamim, and in addition to that, they also need financial assistance. So then they have to be given preference. Sounds like he's saying that that he has to have he's obligated to have more rachmanis on them than he has on others who may be similarly situated, but since the fact that they are his relatives, they're his sons, so that they should it's only fitting that they should have that they should have the preference in the distribution. But otherwise, he says he's got to make sure that he provides for himself, just like he provides for his for whoever else he's going to give in his will. He has to provide for himself too. Okay. Okay. Next, 240. When a person lends money, 247. We go to Mayor, please.
You're muted, Mayor.
Well, hopefully now you can hear me a little better. Okay.
Yes, we can hear. Baruch Hashem.
Well, I'm having microphone problems. That's the problem. Okay. When a person lends of the sages in Baba Metzia, who said, whoever lends money without witnesses violates the prohibition of do not place a stumbling block before a blind man and causes a curse upon himself. Therefore, a person should not transact any kind of monetary or merchandise loan and not make a written contract without witnesses or a formal handwritten document that is as good as an official contract, with which he may collect even from properties of minor orphans. He should not be concerned with the payment of the scribe, or he should learn how to write himself. Otherwise, a troublesome occurrence could happen in that he will not be able to collect his loan due to the lack of formal or handwritten contract. At such times, he will grate his teeth and cry out for help that will not be forthcoming. He deserves to lose his money for violating the words of the sages. If a person is considering lending money to a man who does not trust that he does not trust that much, he should not lend him the money without collateral. It is preferred that he should conduct himself in this manner with every borrower, even someone he trusts, in order not to embarrass an individual who he does not have faith in, and in order to prevent jealousy and animosity. Therefore, it is best that all of his acquaintances know that he does not lend money without collateral, even to the king, especially since a person does not know what each day will bring. There are many people who went to sleep rich and woke up poor. Due to this, our sages said that when there is collateral in the home, there is peace in the home. If the borrower is a wealthy man, the lender should take a small profit in order to increase the total of his loan trust. However, to a poor man, he should extend a free and gracious loan. If he knows that the borrower does not have any collateral equal to the value of the loan, he must at least request a proper guarantor.
It's asking for it. When he talks about it, if you're lending to a rich person, you should take something extra. Is that not ribis?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure what his source is over here. It doesn't have any source in the Hebrew
Nope, nothing in the Hebrew.
edition, no source. Yeah, I don't understand. He has a
Maybe in Baba Metzia, it will say a bit more than what it was referred to in the beginning here. Maybe.
yeah, that's true. It's possible. Anything is possible. Yeah, Baba Metzia, he quoted the Gemara in Baba Metzia that whoever lends money without witnesses violates the prohibition of don't place a stumbling block. And he causes a curse upon himself. Here, he's talking about he was talking about collateral to ensure that he doesn't lose out on the non-payment of a loan, because he in any case has got collateral to collect even in the event of non-payment. And so then he just throws it in. It doesn't seem to be really connected so much. If the borrower is a wealthy man, the lender should take a small profit in order to increase the total of his loan trust.
Mhm.
I mean, if that's not ribis, I don't know what ribis is.
Yeah, it's So what exactly is he doing? He says the borrower is a man of means, unless he's just not. I mean, it's not like him to not mention it. The Pele Yoetz, he's always very careful with his words.
I understand.
Unless he means, unless he do. In other words, I have my questions like this: do we need to understand that he's obviously talking about that when this wealthy man is getting this loan, really what it is, it's true, it's a loan. He's not saying that it's a business deal. He's not a partner with the wealthy man in a certain project that he's investing. He's not like investing in the wealthy man's business. It's not what it says. It just says he's the wealthy man. The borrower is a wealthy man. He's borrowing money. He's borrowing money. He's not taking him into the investment or the deal that he's doing.
Right. It's my.
So it would seem on the face of it that it's a loan. And then he just says that since he is a wealthy man, and he's doing him a favor to lend him money, he should take a profit. He calls it a profit. What is the word that he uses over there?
V'im ish asher hu yikach minu ma'at revach k'dei lahosif
Revach.
al hakeren shel halvos.
So he's going to use this revach in order to
To increase the loan fund, which is fine,
yeah.
but it's still, it's still a ribis. Did we lose Rabbi Levitt?
You're muted, Rabbi.
Okay. What maybe, in other words, he's asking him, would you like to make a small or maybe or fairly large or whatever it is, any contribution to the loan fund? Maybe you'd like to contribute to the loan fund.
I wonder if we can't assume that this is a business deal, because if the borrower is wealthy, then why is he borrowing money? He's not borrowing money because he needs to feed himself.
No, but he
Right.
may not have ready cash. He could be wealthy and not have ready cash.
Well, I suppose he could be borrowing because he wants to marry his child off, and he needs some extra cash for the marriage.
Even for a regular business deal, he wants to borrow money because he's got something
Right.
he can buy right now and he needs the cash for it. He doesn't have
Right,
cash
right.
available.
Right.
Right,
Right, we're not-
but if you're going to go in that direction, then if it's a business deal, then it's probably going to have a header iska, which basically says this is a business deal.
That's okay if
He
but
can take
that,
extra money, and it's not ribis.
then that's not well, but he didn't say that. If he wanted to say that, he would
Yeah,
have said
that's-
it.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was gonna say before I said what I said also. To say that what he means is that he's doing this with a heteriska, it's I don't know. I mean, it would seem to me that he should have had to say that.
Yes.
Yoetz. He's generally very careful with his words, especially when he's suggesting something with which that the person who's running the loan fund he's advising him and he's giving him an eitzah. That's Pele Yoetz. Pele Yoetz is the wondrous eitzah giver. He's a Peladika eitzah geber. So it's not such a good eitzah geber to tell him to do something which is going to run into an Issa Ribis. So I don't know why. I also don't know exactly what it wouldn't be. Yeah, it would seem to me, I'd have to find out. I would have to ask a Shaila. They have halacha hotlines, and they have specially ones that they specialize in monetary matters. And this is really a matter of they have to know about all matters of ribis, which things it comes up. It really does come up. Yeah.
Is it? I'm not a financial sort of person. I would know one end of a coin from another. But is it possible to say that you can ask that the rich man could be buying the money that he wants, so that if I want to buy something from somebody, he's paid 10 shekels for this item, but he sells it to me for 15. So he makes a profit. So can't I just sort of offer him, this is money, this is $100, and I'm going to sell it to you for $120.
Right, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
But he's not saying that. I mean, that's perfectly usual to do.
That is ribis.
yeah, I
That's
know.
ribis
But that's
ktsutsa
not-
midaraisa.
But it's not ribis if I bought something.
That's the chiddush This is the Chiddush of Ribbis. This is the Chiddush of Ribbis that when it comes to every other item, well, it's really not true either. Actually, there's Ribbis, there's also, but those are only derabbanans. Those are only derabbanans. When it comes to Ribbis deraisa, the only thing that you cannot, in other words, what you're really doing is you're asking for your let me go to Hertz. Let me go to Hertz and I'm gonna buy the car for 10 days, right?
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, fine, we'll sell you the car for 10 days. And I'll say, oh, thank you very much. How much does it cost? They sign a contract and they give me the keys, right? And with every other commodity, you could also do that. But when it comes to Geld, it's an andere Welt.
Okay. I understand.
There's a isser. There's no such thing as buying money and not and paying for the money that you buy. There's no such thing. It's called an isser ribbis. Even though you're right, with all other types of commodities, it's called you're allowed you can buy it, and you could buy it permanently. You could buy it for 10 days. You could buy it for 2 years. You could do whatever you want. But when it comes to money, you can't do that unless you're doing it as a chesed, and you're saying, okay, you could have this money for 2 years and just pay me back in 2 years. Fine, thank you very much. Unless you got the heteriska. And the heteriska is really a type of on the face of it, it's structured in such a way that it's like a iska. Iska is a business.
Mhm.
There's a certain type of it's got the trappings of a business deal.
Like in a bank.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how is it that the bank charges interest on a loan?
Because it's horrible.
Because they're not going to give you any money unless you pay the ribbis, right?
Yeah.
That's the answer why they charge ribbis, right? But how do they do that? I mean, are they violating the? And not only that, you know what? It's not only usher for a Jew to charge another Jew ribbis, but it's also usher for the Jew to pay him.
Mhm.
Each one of them is doing a violation. Even the one that writes the contract, the scribe, is also violating a Torah prohibition. Now, how does the bank do it? They do it, yeah. How do we do it? Because we need the bank. Well, hopefully we don't need the bank, but anyway.
Mm.
Well, you don't have to. You can put your money in an account that doesn't get interest.
You do that anyway, don't you?
My account doesn't get interest.
Mm.
No, I'm not talking about that. You go to a bank for a loan.
Oh,
They're
if
not
you
going to
want
charge you
a
interest.
loan, I see. Yeah, then you have to make a heteriska.
So that's the only. That's the. Okay.
So I have a question. If we're done with ribbis, I have a different question.
Yeah.
That is, it's this point that it makes about, if you lend money without witnesses, you're cursed, or you're placing a stumbling block before the blind. What if I reason as follows? This amount that I'm lending is small enough that I can consider it to be tzedakah. So I'm going to lend him with the understanding. I don't communicate this to him. I just say to myself, or I say to my wife, if he doesn't pay, then I'm just going to consider this to be tzedakah. Can I do that, or am I going to invoke this curse if I do that?
Okay, so I would understand that that's called Dvorim.
I didn't hear.
Okay, when we we have such a thing when it comes to contracts, when it comes to agreements between people, especially affecting monetary deals. We have a principle in the Gemara called Devarim Shebelev. Devarim Shebelev are matters of the heart. And the Gemara says, Devarim Shebelev, Einam Devarim.
Eino Devarim, Cain.
They are not words. Words have to be, in other words, the deal that's struck between two parties is based upon the words that they write in the contract or the words that they say to one another orally, but something that someone is thinking in his own heart. If it's not communicated, it's generally speaking, it's regarded as ineffective to prove that was really the deal that was struck. There are exceptions. The Gemara says that this is what the Gemara calls it's not only in the lave of the person who's claiming that that's what his intention was, but it was ubelev kol adam. It would also be in the heart of any person who would be in that particular situation, even though the words were not openly and clearly communicated to the other side. So that could also be a vehicle to put that understanding into the deal. So now you want to know here you got a guy who doesn't have a penny to his name, and you say, okay, I'll lend you this money. He doesn't. Why don't you just give it to him outright? Here, take the money, take the $100. Why not do it like that and avoid all these difficulties?
Because I want to give charity in the best way. The best way to give charity is as if it's not charity. So he's come to me and he said, listen, I need some money. I'm having trouble making ends meet. Can you lend me some money? And I want to say, here, I'll lend you the money. And I want to have in my mind that if I'm hoping he'll pay it because it's more helpful for him to pay it. But if he doesn't pay it, then I'll consider it to be tzedakah. But I don't want to tell him that because I don't want to encourage him. I don't want to make him think, oh, I don't really have to pay it, so I won't pay it.
You want him to pay it. So
I want him to pay it, but I want to just consider it tzedakah if he doesn't, rather than get upset and become like a creditor and all those problems. I want to just have peace of mind that okay, if he doesn't pay it, he doesn't pay it. I'll just consider it tzedakah, and that's the end of it.
Well, I mean, essentially that's what a person that doesn't get paid the money that's owed him. That's basically what he, that's basically what he does. It was given as a loan, and the person ends up not paying it, and now, so he's made a loan, and he was not paid it. So what's the problem with having it be like that? What's the advantage of saying that it's really in my heart? I know that it's only a handout, and I just don't want that he should know because so that it works both ways now. So if he does end up giving you the $100 or the $1,000, whatever it is that you want to make sure that he understands that it's a loan. If you really regarded it as not a loan, and you regard it as a handout, so now he's giving you back for nothing. He's giving you a gift, according to your words.
Right.
You want to accept the gift from him for $1,000?
Sure.
Okay.
The only, you asked me what's the issue? The only issue is that when I read this, I thought, it sounds like I'm not allowed to do this because it says whoever lends money without witnesses violates the prohibition of, I mean, I suppose I could have witnesses and still consider it to be a handout.
Well,
Um,
I mean, it's a bit contradictory. It's a bit contradictory when you write it out and you have witnesses. So the witnesses understand that it's a proper loan, and that's why you're writing it down, and that's why you have witnesses. And the reason why you want to do that, we should look in the Gemara and see exactly what the Gemara's reasoning is. But I would assume that the reason why you want to have want to have a written document and want to have it written up is because you well, in other words, he says here, the Gemara says, whoever lends money without witnesses, he's violating the prohibition of don't place a stumbling block. Who's the one that's gonna have a stumbling block now?
the borrower, because he's gonna renege. He's gonna say, oh, well, I don't have to pay him because he can't collect.
Because he honestly, it would seem to me the only case is okay, even if he's not honestly, but you won't be able to collect, so you're causing him to steal. You're causing him to not pay back.
Right.
So that's the thing. I don't know if it's so simple to do that and say, well, that's what I'm considering it to be a gift, because on the face of it, it's a loan because you didn't communicate to him that it's not. It is a loan, and he's required, and if he doesn't do so, he's got an avera. Why does it matter? You want to say that since I really don't regard it as a loan, it's not really his avera. He thought that he's still thinking that he did an avera though, which he needs tshuva for that too.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the case of the woman that made that violated her neder, even though the husband already was mochel on the neder the day that he heard that she made such a neder like that. But the Gemara says, "Vashem yislach lo," because she thought that she was doing an avera. So you're not really able to save this guy 100%, even with that technique either, because he thinks he's doing an avera.
Right.
Yeah, there's not really a yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. It's not an easy thing over there. On the one hand, you could say, well, I mean, he's a bit of an onus. Nebuch. He's a bit of an onus. I mean, what can he do? He needs the money. He doesn't have the money. That's why he's borrowing money. If people have money, they don't need to borrow money generally.
Right.
Unless the guy says, "Oh yes, I'm getting $1 million 2 weeks from now, so I want to borrow 500,000 from you right now." Okay, so it's not a problem, right? You trust the guy. The guy's going to get the money, and he's going to pay you. It's fine, but that's generally not the reason why people borrow money. They're hoping that they'll be able to pay back. They're hoping to be able to pay back. They hope that they hope to be able to, and when they not able to, so it's yeah, it's not an easy situation. Okay. So in any case, yeah, we should really, I think maybe, do we have time? Do we have time to look up this Gemara? No, we don't. Oh, 11:25. Okay, so maybe, whatever, maybe tomorrow. Maybe we could learn a little, maybe the Gemara will say a few things that we can, that we didn't, weren't aware of, and we could learn even more about the situation that we're talking about. Okay. Oh, and then we have this question about the, he's asking for a, he's going to take a revach in order to increase the total of his loan trust. I don't know why he calls it, a profit. He's asking it, to my understanding, he's asking, would you like to make a contribution to the loan fund?
Profit means business, doesn't it? Is it associated with business?
Unless what?
The word
Yeah,
profit
right.
is associated with business.
Right. So it's not. I mean, I understand. It's not. It's a person who's running a loan fund, and he's not charging ribbis for his loans. Hopefully he's doing things according to the halacha.
Right.
And this rich person is borrowing money, and the Pele Yoetz says, you know what? I'm going to give you a good eitzah. Take a small profit from this guy so that you can increase your loan trust. It's not my profit. I'm just running the loan trust over here. Why is it? What's the profit to who? Profit to the loan trust. They got. Gonna have more money to be able to loan out. Okay, but it's not really a profit. I would call it a donation. He's making a donation.
Right.
But
That's what I was going to say.
but it's not phrased that way.
I know that's my problem. Why is it? Is there? I don't know if there's something that we're not understanding. I don't know.
What's the Hebrew word that is used?
It's revach. If he would have said matana or or something to that, bikesh matana or something like that, that's a different thing. But he doesn't use those words.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What does revach mean?
Profit. Yeah, I don't have any problem with the translation.
Right.
It's here. It's not. I'm not having any issue with the translation. My issue is with the
Concept.
I know that Pele Yoetz used the correct words, but we just don't understand the we don't understand the case unless I don't know. I do not know.
So if we substituted for the word profit, the word donation, then we would be happy.
Yeah, I would be happy, understanding that this is a
Voluntary.
It's a service that this person is doing. He's dispensing loans for, without ribbis. If a rich guy wants to go to wants a loan, what does he do? He goes to the bank generally. I mean, he doesn't, unless he has a friend who's going to give him money for without any interest. He's going to say, "What do you mean? Go to the bank. Why should I give you a free loan?" But if he goes to a free loan society, they'll say, "Well, 1 second over here. Like, why don't you leave this money here, free interest loans here for people that really need it? You can go to the bank. You're going to obviously use this money to make $1 million. So for the $1 million that you make, you can pay the interest that you have to pay to the bank. What are you bothering us for?" That's what if I was the director of the loan society, that's what I would tell this guy. So I don't understand the case. I don't know. You're not allowed. I mean, maybe he's not allowed to refuse any Jew, anybody that comes just because he's rich. He wants a loan. So too bad. You got to give him. It's not fair. But it would seem to me that you'd be able to say, look, this is only for people that that really need interest-free loans. Can we say that this, even though this person is wealthy, but he doesn't have any money, he has to feed himself? It doesn't make any sense. If he needs to feed himself with this money, he's not a wealthy man. So, okay, I don't know. Look at there. So that's where we are.
Okay.
Oh, it's 11:30, and we say goodbye to Mayor.
Okay,
Have a good day, everybody.
Good
Bye for now,
day.
Mayor.